Aloha friends, it's Robert Stellick with the Blue Planet Adventure Company right here in Haleiwa next to the Rainbow Bridge. Beautiful place to paddle. And today we're gonna have a video about the basics of paddling on a sit-on-top kayak. Before you go in the water, always make sure to wear a life jacket. So first of all, getting into the kayak, ideally you want a spot that's kind of like this where you can stand in shallow water. And then instead of climbing onto the kayak and standing on it, the best way to get in is to stand next to it and then basically sit down into the kayak, keeping both feet on the ground and then swinging your feet into the kayak. That way you don't stand on a tippy kayak. Just have a comfortable loose grip on the paddle. Mostly hold it with the forefinger so I can have a nice reach with my paddle. And then when you paddle on one side, the kayak will turn off the other direction. So if you keep paddling on this one side, if I paddle on the right side, the kayak will turn to the left. And if I paddle on the other side, on the left side, the kayak will turn to my right. And then to go straight, I just paddle evenly on both sides. If you're a beginner, going in calm water is really important. You don't want to go out in rough water where there's a lot of motion in the water. Having calm water makes it a lot easier to find your balance. But if you have a hard time balancing, first of all, make sure you sit up straight. So you don't want to be slouched back or lean forward or whatever. Just want to have a nice upright body posture. And then just let your lower body find its balance. Make sure you're centered on the center of the kayak so you're not leaning off to one side or the other side. And just let your body balance out. Look at the horizon or look at something stable in the distance. Don't look down at the water, and just keep your focus on something stable, and that'll help you find your balance. So a common mistake when paddling is using only the arms. So a lot of beginners just only use their arms to paddle. You get more efficient if you use more of your shoulder, like a rotation when you paddle, using your shoulders and rotating and using your core to paddle. So to turn, you can either just keep paddling on one side. If you want to turn more quickly, you can paddle a reverse stroke on the opposite side. And it helps to look over your shoulder as you do that reverse sweep stroke to see where you're going. Understanding where the kayak will turn really helps you maneuver it. So let's say I want to go sideways. You can actually have a sweep stroke to pull you sideways. You just have to make sure you don't get the paddle underneath the kayak, because then it can get pulled underneath the kayak. But yeah, if you want to approach a dock like this, you can actually paddle sideways and do a sweep stroke to get close to the deck. Just make sure you don't try to stand on the kayak, because it becomes very unstable. So let's say I wanted to get on the deck from here. I like to put the paddle behind me, and then you have to carefully, like I'm going to put weight on the deck and kind of slide my butt up here. So if I tried to put all my weight on the kayak standing up on it, it would be very tippy. So and then to get back in, support my weight on the deck on the side here. Make sure I don't push myself off before I'm in the kayak. Grab my paddle, get going. Sit-on-top kayaks are ideal for beginners. If you fall in, you can easily get back on again. You don't have to climb into them. Also, if you fall, there's nothing holding you in the kayak. So the kayaks where you have to put your legs inside are a little bit more tricky to use. For beginners, we always recommend sit-on-top kayaks. One situation where sit-inside kayaks are better is when the water is really cold, because it kind of keeps your legs warmer inside the kayak. Another common mistake is not using the whole paddle. If you're just using the tip of the blade, you're not going to get full purchase. So make sure you put the whole blade in the water as you're paddling. One thing to keep in mind if you're paddling in windy conditions or in a current, it's always safer to paddle upwind or up current first and then come back with the wind or with the current, because it's going to be much easier coming back. So if you're paddling upwind or into the current, it's good to keep like a steady cadence and keep forward momentum going and keep your nose pointed into the wind or into the current. If you get sideways to it, you're gonna get turned around basically. And then if you're paddling up a river with the current, you wanna keep your nose pointed into the current because it's basically called ferrying across the current. You wanna kind of go sideways with your nose pointed into the current. So those are just some basic tips for beginner kayakers. I hope you enjoyed the video. We also have a video on what to do if you tip over and how to get back inside your kayak. So check that out as well. When you're getting back out, put both feet on the ground, stand up, and pull your kayak out of the water. And if you ever find yourself in Haleiwa on Oahu's North Shore, come join us for a paddle adventure right here next to the Rainbow Bridge. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. See you on the water. Aloha.